TGI Game Time presented by State Farm. Good to have you with us here in our Atlanta studio. I'm Matt Weiner, Sekou Smith right there, Stan Van Gundy right over there. We're just glad we made it into work tonight after what was just horrific traffic here in the city of Atlanta, which is not great on a daily basis traffic-wise. This is the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah, this was a new epic rush hour mess that we had on our hands today. I'm just glad you got
welcome to Atlanta, Stan.
Absolutely. I'm less than a mile away from the studio, and it literally took me like 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, an hour and 10 minutes it took me to get to work today. Crazy.
I'm trying to be on my best behavior now that I'm here, though.
Well, good. Hopefully we're all in better moods. It affected everybody company-wide. We're all coming in late. Hopefully we're prepared for the show. We'll find out over the next couple of hours.
We will.
We'll keep you up to date for the next couple of hours. Crunch time later, and then it's the Heat and Lakers live here just after 10:30 Eastern time. Lakers have won 6 in a row since their opening night loss, and LeBron James is on a triple-double binge. He's got 3 in a row as the Miami Heat arrive tonight at Staples Center. In fact, LeBron is the first Laker with 3 straight triple-doubles since Magic Johnson back in 1987, which was the year I graduated high school. That's how long ago it's been since a Laker strung together 3 in a row. What do you make of this Laker team now? Number 1 defensively in the league. And obviously, LeBron, as a point guard, is putting up numbers like these.
This is what I think a lot of us envisioned LeBron would be at this stage of his career if he was healthy and still locked in the way he is in terms of mastering the game. I mean, he's been fun to watch, not only because of what he does for himself, but what he does for everybody around him. He's such a fantastic all-around player that I think we didn't give him the credit for that early in his career when he was high-flying and jumping over everybody, but now you really get a chance to see the skill level, which has been through the roof since he came into the league, but now it's accentuated with the way he has to play.
That's exactly right on LeBron. That's his greatest thing, is how he helps his teammates.
Absolutely.
But what we're seeing this year, on top of the triple-doubles, is a resurgence defensively from him.
And really, frankly, more effort defensively from
no question.
LeBron.
We really saw it in the Dallas game when he had to match up at times with Doncic, especially late in the game, moving his feet. But this guy's he's a marvel. He's absolutely a marvel, what he's been able to do for so long in this league.
And maybe not the greatest one-on-one defender, but he's always been great anticipating and playing passing lanes and that sort of stuff. And a lot of that is just engagement, which we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, and I don't think we should overlook the fact that when we're talking about LeBron missing the playoffs for the first time in all those years in the spring, and everybody's like, well, how, what does he come back with? What's his attitude? What kind of chip on his shoulder? Not that. He just looks refreshed. Yeah. He looks like a guy who grinded his way to the finals all those years in a row and then got a little bit of vacation. Physically, he just looks bouncy. I noticed that in the Dallas game. He drives a lane and goes up and finishes like 6 years ago, LeBron, which to me, if the Lakers are going to be the team they want to be, they've got to have LeBron locked in on both ends like this, but also playing with that energy and that bounce that he didn't always have down the stretch last season when they knew the Lakers weren't going to be in the mix, and he kind of understood the team he had around him wasn't going to allow him to perform to the level he's used to.
The injury last year also had to drive home the point for him mentally that this window is not going to stay open forever, right? I mean, 17th year in the league, you only get so many more chances.
Well, yeah, but he is also rejuvenated by Anthony Davis coming. Last year, even when he was healthy, he had them 4th, in the Western Conference. But that team was not a serious title contender, and LeBron knew that. And it's a guy who's used to playing for championships. And so now Anthony Davis comes, he sees that he's got a chance, and he understands what leadership is all about. And it's not what you say, it's what your teammates watch you do on the court that they can follow.
Well, they get a Heat team tonight that's off to its best start in 7 years when LeBron James played in South Florida. And now 4-1 with Jimmy Butler on the floor. He had 30 of his 34 last night in Phoenix in the first half. What's impressed you about what you've seen from Butler in Miami?
Well, the thing I like with Jimmy Butler is he's doing it unselfishly, and he's doing it within the flow of their offense. So you see here, he drives it and kicks it to Tyler Herro, and then spaces again, gets it back, and now drives it to the rim. He's not isolating and going one-on-one. He's getting all this within the flow. Here he's denied, so he comes to set the pick. He slips out, gets it on the move, quick step back, puts it in the basket. Great versatility in the way he attacked last night. Here's a drive again. Unselfish play to Derrick Jones Jr. stays in the play. Offensive rebound, takes it right back at the rim, scores and gets fouled by Baines. He's doing it with a lot of different ways, but totally within the flow of what they want to do. So all these young guys get to be involved.
They've also been the fourth best defensive team in the league so far. In the context of the Eastern Conference, how dangerous is the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler on the floor now?
Tremendous. Tremendously dangerous. Look, I don't think we give Jimmy Butler the credit he deserves. I don't know what his card game is like. I don't know if he plays cards at all. His poker face is horrible. Because when he was playing with guys he didn't believe in and didn't trust that they were going to go out there and grind the way he did, you could tell. You could read it to me in his body language,
but
not in his effort.
And he would say it sometimes.
But he would come out and explain why he felt the way he did.
Yeah.
You can tell he trusts these young guys in Miami. He trusts that they've put in the work that's required to go out and perform like this. And I like that Eric Spoelstra, who's been around for so long, I think we take him for granted as far as, quality coaches in this league. Eric Spoelstra's message, his demeanor, his routine, it doesn't change. Whoever the players are that are in his mix, he's going to do the same things. And Jimmy Butler has taken to it perfectly. I think we need to go back and stop wondering why he chose the Heat when he did in free agency and understand that he was making a very educated choice about what worked for him and how he'd fit with this team, and we see it early on.
Well, he staked his reputation on hard work and talked over and over again about how nobody's going to work harder than him, and he wants people to match that work ethic. And as you know, Stan, that is the Heat's reputation. That is what it's all about there in Miami. And so from that point of view, if he's really into the hard work, this is the place to be for him. And so far, it is paying off. All right, let's bounce around the league here early on as we get set for the 7 o'clock tips and all the rest tonight. On the schedule, the Grizzlies in Orlando, each looking for a third win.
Yeah, look, Orlando's been elite defensively and absolutely horrendous offensively.
Hey, they scored 100 the other night.
But they're still averaging they're last in the league and almost 4 points worse than the 29th team in the league.
But they scored 100 the other night.
This is it's early in the year. This is a win that they have to have tonight, and they need to get their offense going against a pretty bad defensive team.
They scored 100 Wednesday night.
They did, yes.
They didn't win the game, but they scored 100. Cavaliers and Wizards in Washington. Who's the better 2 and 5, Sekou?
Well, look, I think one of them's 2 and 5, and we knew they would be 2 and 5 at best. The other one's 2 and 5, and they've been a pleasant surprise, actually, if you think about what the Washington Wizards have done. They haven't looked as bad as some people thought. Hachimura has been a really nice breath of fresh air from what we were expecting based on Summer League. And look, you got a couple of veteran stars in this matchup. Kevin Love has played really well, 19 and 14, taken very well to John Beilein's system. And then Bradley Beal, he could have done a lot of different things as ball coach. He could have decided to get out of there, whatever you want to do, but he stuck it out with the Wizards, and now they're trying to grind their way to see what can come of this.
All right, Pistons and Pacers both coming off easy wins on Wednesday night. Miles Turner will not play tonight for the Pacers. He'll miss his 5th straight game with an ankle injury. He was considered questionable. Indiana has kind of turned things around since a rough start.
Yeah, but Detroit's beaten them twice.
Yep.
Once in each place. Look, if Indiana's going to finally get in the win column against them, they've got to pound Detroit in the paint. It's where Indiana is good. Indiana is one of the best teams in the league, number 5 in the league scoring in the paint. And Detroit, that's their weakness defensively. They give up a lot of points in the paint. If they can't do that, they're going to lose a 3rd straight time to the Pistons.
Drummond has averaged 25 points and more than 20 boards a game on 61% shooting in the 2 games, both wins, as you mentioned, against the Pacers. Kings are wrapping up a 3-game trip here in Atlanta. I passed their hotel. They were getting on the bus. Hopefully they've made it to the arena by now to take on the Hawks.
Yeah, and another chance. Young. I think a lot of us were skeptical, when that deal was made at draft day, and you see Luka Doncic go to Dallas and Trae Young come to Atlanta. There should be no more skeptics. I think he's convinced everybody at this point that he's well worth the investment that the Hawks have made. This is one of the special young playmakers / scorers in this league. He's only going to get better. And to watch him go up against a defensive guard like De'Aaron Fox tonight should be a treat for the fans at State Farm Arena, because that'll be a really interesting back and forth between those two guys.
By the way, we saw the Kings on the floor. They are going to play. They're
At least some of them are.
Somebody made it.
They made it
First
over
bus
there.
might have
It
made
should be over.
First bus.
Warriors stop in on Minnesota. What stands out for you for the Dubs and the Wolves?
Well, what's amazing is as much as we've talked about the Warriors being down, they're a top 10 offense in the league right now. It's incredible. You got to give Steve Kerr a lot of credit. You got to give Eric Pascal a lot of credit. They get D'Angelo Russell back tonight. But just like we said with Orlando, this is a big game for Minnesota. All of these types of games. It is going to be tough to make the playoffs in the West. It's going to be a battle. When you get games, particularly home games, that you're supposed to win, you've got to take care of business. They're without Jeff Teague. They really don't have a point guard tonight. They're going with Culver and Okogie in the back.